Okay, you know, the mathematics never lie. Numbers don't lie. People lie. You know, always bear that in mind. And I remember one of the managers down at the secure unit where I was working at. He said to me that they were spending at the time in excess of £250 per bed per night. There were 20 beds on each ward. Yeah, if you do the mathematics on that, £250 per bed, and there's 20 beds. How much is that per night? Go ahead. £5,000. It's £5,000. Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, £5,000. That's £5,000 a night. Over.
How many wards are there?
Numerous.
Okay.
There's 365 days in a year, and you're spending over £5,000 per ward. When you work it out, that's probably about £2 million being spent to keep I remember being on the ward, and of the 20 people on the ward, 19 were black male. 19. Okay? So you're spending £2 million, got this place, and these people weren't being really cured. I'm not saying that they weren't being treated. I'm saying they weren't being cured, because there were faces that were coming back in a couple months later, and it was like this kind of revolving door. And I thought, how can you spend £2 million a year, but yet still there are people that are running all these kind of alternative therapeutic classes on the community level, which aren't using drugs, they're using talking therapies and things like this, and looking at diet and, like the real kind of holistic stuff, and they can't even get a £5,000 grant. But the same system would spend £2 million to run one ward. And remember, that's just one ward. There might be 15 wards there. So when you do the mathematics on that, you think, hold on a second, these men are spending like £30 million, and then the numbers go crazy. We have a criminal justice system where they're spending on average £50,000 to keep one person locked up for 1 year. The likelihood of you reoffending after coming out of prison within 2 years or something, I think it's like 80% reoffending. So obviously that £50,000 being spent, £100,000 being spent, you're not getting a good return on your investment if you look at it as a straight business model, unless there's a business operating behind the business that we don't know about, and then it starts to make sense. But let's not even get into that one, because let's just keep it on the straight and narrow. Yeah. So we really got to think about how we're using taxpayers' money, and what's the return for spending that taxpayers' money. If there are alternative things that are happening on a community level, led by people who have been through the system, who have an understanding of the system, seen it from both sides, then these are the voices that should be consulted, and and these opinions should be taken on board. There's been numerous reports written at the racial disparity in mental health. At some point, we'll take on board the findings of these reports. Peace.